Are you afraid of being too much? Hello and welcome back to another episode of Healing into Femininity. It's me, your host, Joanna. And I'm really looking forward to dive into this topic with you. The fear of being too much woman. So I think with this topic, I want to lay back, I want to go slow, and I just really want to just vibe with it, so get comfortable or whatever you do. um for me personally, like I now started this YouTube channel, and I'm very confident that this time I'm going to take it all the way. Yeah. And because I love it, I've always known that I wanted to do YouTube. So I'm going to tell you a little bit. It's a little story time, okay? And so, yeah, this is my channel. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You wouldn't be here. So I guess you like me. And I want to get to know you too. So maybe I can like you too. So maybe you can let me know if you have a YouTube channel too, because I'm all about connection. Um, but what I want to say is that let me give you a little story time, okay? So again, I always like to start at the very beginning because I believe that this is where it all started with all of us, yeah? So as I always say, like I'm the child of a German mother and a Ghanaian father, and I feel so privileged. I feel so blessed. I love my life experience. Like I was born in Germany. I have an older brother. I think that doesn't matter for this story today. But my parents, my mom is a very like I think my mom, she's also a witch. She's a very wise woman. She's a free spirit. She's smart. She's intelligent. She's a boss. She's financially educated. Like my mom, she's definitely my role model. She knows to do so many things. I love her. So, um, like we grew up in Germany for a while, and then we went to Ghana. When I was 3 years old, we moved to Ghana, the whole family. And then I'm so blessed for that because as we know, if you're into psychology and early childhood development and living your best life, reprogramming your mind, sociology, all of that, what shapes a human being, it's the first 7 years of their lives. And then, of course, after that as well. But this is like very fundamental. So for me, I'm very blessed to, like, I'm mixed, obviously, as I just said. And I feel like I literally am 200% human. Yeah. So I have the German experience, not only like on an intellectual level, but on a cellular level. I was born here, and then I lived here for 3 years, like soaking up the environment, soaking up the culture, soaking up all of that. Because as children, our mind is like completely like plastic, or like this one girl said, like Play-Doh, like we're so moldable. Like we soak up everything that is going on in the first 7 years becomes part of our cellular structure, part of our subconscious, so-called. Our subconscious is our body. And so I grew up here for 3 years, and then I went to Ghana for 3 years. So I came back when I was 6. And my first childhood memories, like real childhood memories, were in Ghana. So I grew up being surrounded by Black kids, like Black people, Black kids, with my grandma, with my family, all of that, like big family, kids in the neighborhood, being on this private school. I went to a private school, Maria Montessori private school in Ghana, and like with the school uniform and all of that. Like it was a private school, but I was in kindergarten. Obviously, I was three, like 3 to 6. So this was my first, like my childhood experience. And I remember that even there, like I was so loud, like I was loud and I was like a little mischievous. Like I'm a very mischievous little woman. And I was that there too. And I remember that I was like, even there I was a leader, like, okay, come, let's do this, like let's play. And I got beaten, like in Ghanaian school, you sometimes you get beaten with a stick. It's happened to me. All of those things, like I remember that. And then with 6 years, I came back. But even like I want to start with the Ghanaian experience because I remember that right next to our house there was a bar. So there I and even today, like it really reminds me, and this is also something that it is we know that in science that music and smell are the I think sound and smell are the two sensory penetrations. I don't know how to call it. I'm making this up, but this is what catapults us right back into a state that we have experienced before. So if you listen to a song, you think about a time where you listen to this song for the first time. So that's why people like when they have their favorite song reminding them of their ex or a time in their life when they achieved something. So this is also something for me when I was in Ghana, like we listened to, of course, Ghanaian music, but also a lot of dancehall, like early 90s dancehall, which is still a big part of my life. I've also been to Jamaica and yeah, just that's my vibe. I love it. So this is what I listened to when I was very young. And also with like being African and I think also being Black, I don't know who listens, or just being a brown person on this planet, I don't know. But my experience is like it's normal to dance. So you dance everywhere. Like if there's music, you dance if it's appropriate, right? But you feel the vibe. So this is what I grew up around, like the music and the culture and the people being free, dancing. Then later on, I remember I had an uncle and he had a band. So this is the first time where I was on stage, like just dancing in the background, being on stage and feeling so natural, feeling comfortable, feeling natural. And I continued that. I always knew that I loved dancing and I love to be seen. I think that's really it. I love to be seen and I love to dance and I also love to practice. Like I love to be good at what I do. So I love to practice dancing, being on stage, being seen, getting the applause, feeling amazing. Okay, so that's me, my early childhood imprints. Yeah. So also for you, if you think about your childhood, think back, what did you always love? Because this is most probably still your dream or still a resource inside of you. So this is me. Then I came back to Germany and I was still confident. Like sometimes these cuts in a person's life can lead to them shutting down or being quiet because like I changed environment like drastically like two times even before I was 7, yeah. So I came back to Germany, but I remember that I was still confident. I made friends easily, and I had all kinds of friends, like very multicultural. And I continued to pursue my passions, which was dancing and performing. And I had this one dance teacher. She saw that. She made me to be Whitney Houston. And I had like this glitter dress with 7 or 8. And as I said, I was in the circus. And I've loved all of that. Like that's a big part of who I am. But I realized like when I grew older and like I mean really in like even kind of in my late teens, because I danced and I performed in my teens as well. Like I continued dancing. I said it before. A few of the friends back then that I danced with, they became like world renowned dancers. And like I kind of like I think this is the first dream that I gave up. I left dancing for education. I love education. I love learning, but I didn't keep this other part. And I feel, yeah, this is kind of where like one stream got cut off. But yeah, with that being said, I didn't have an outlet. Now we're coming to the point, like, do you think that you're too much? Because I had the early experience of being like even now, you see me and I am a very theatrical person. I love it. I like if I speak, if I have the freedom to speak, I love to express myself with gestures and facial expressions and fashion and makeup and like words. Also, I love words. I think I'm the born entertainer, but I then in school and in uni, like it didn't come through, of course. Like there's no place for being like this super theatrical person. And also not being around artist, that is my story. Like I kind of suppress this part of myself. And I'm saying that also for you to check yourself. Yeah, check yourself and see maybe you resonate with that. Maybe you also have been very expressive, but because you didn't put yourself in the environment where it is celebrated, yeah, you kind of like you had no outlet, you had no place where you could be that. And I want to invite you back to find that place for yourself, whether it be dancing, whether it be YouTube, whether it be anything else, but check if you want to incorporate it back into your life because this is vital for the feminine. Yeah. And if you've already known yourself to be this super expressive person, you have to create your own space to be that. This is the fountain of youth. This is your talent. This is your gift. This is your energy flow. Like it's so vital. It's so important. And as I said, for me, I got more and more and more into academia. And then I studied international business. And then after, like, I learned finances and stuff like that. And then I found myself back into, like, I've always been a passionate person and having ideas and then being passionate about it. So I got into personal development. No, not only personal development, but also sales, right? Sales and network marketing. And like this is where I kind of, and it took me some time to realize that I don't really know yet, but I think this is where I realized that not everybody is like me. I mean, I know that, but not everybody is like me. And people are like, people are learning all these things sometimes. And this is also what I want to talk about. I think so many women, we have like this, everything that people maybe learn in personal development, learning about how to talk to people, how to be enthusiastic, how to uh, motivate people, how to burn and so you can fire up other people. This is natural. Like this is natural to me, and maybe it's natural to you too. But the only thing, and that's again, that's the topic, the main topic of this video, is the fear of being too much because you don't see anybody in your physical reality being as energetic, as passionate, as expressive, as open as you. Like even me with my voice, I didn't learn that, even though I'm a certified coach. But what I am, like, this is me. This is just me in my natural state. And I believe that, especially me, I don't know, again, I'm just sharing my experience. This is me growing up in Germany. Like, there are not too many people that are like super exciting. Like exciting, expressive, eccentric. Ah, yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling. Mm, but because I didn't see that, I kind of shut myself, like I shut it away. And now I'm giving myself the permission to just be me, to just come back to life. Yeah, that's why my videos are very, like, I don't really have a one step, two. No, I don't even need that because me personally, I like to listen to people who are expressive and who are free, just like having a conversation with a friend. Yeah. So, and this is again, I want to ask you now, I want to go back like into really giving some value or talking about that. I personally believe that this is something that keeps a lot of women in, because in this world, if you're into personal development, I think we hear a lot of the fear of not being enough, right? Like we have these four fundamental fears as human beings. It's the fear of not being enough, the fear of being too much, the fear of like what comes with the success, what comes like the fear of the burden of success, and another one that I don't know. I'm sorry. I wanted to research it, but I was lazy, but it will come back. Um, so we have a fear of being extraordinary. That's it. Because as human beings, we are kind of socialized to all be the same, like to be in this group think, don't think for yourself, don't be individualistic, like be part of the group and all of that. Yeah. So if you become your whole self, if you are like maturing into like really becoming an individual, and just really thinking for yourself, not agreeing to everything to everybody around you, like really standing alone, which doesn't mean that you have to be alone. You can still have friends and all of that, but really being your own person, right? We're not being taught this in school or in the system, because this is the system kind of creates us to be the same, all of the same. So we look around for validation, and we think like, okay, oh, that person is not like me, so I don't dare to stand out because there's nobody here like me. So we want to feel safe. This is what I talked about in another video. We of course we have a need to feel safe in this world because we want to survive, we want to live. But the fear of being too much, I personally think that most women, if it hasn't been like bred out of them from a very early age, then that's why I say I feel so privileged with my mom, because she has always let me be free. She let me be free, so I could do whatever I want, and I'm so happy about that. But maybe your mom has put you down, or other people have put you down from an early age, like people kind of caged you in, so you never really had the opportunity to fully express yourself. Yeah, as I also said, like I play theater, I'm an actress, like I played in a movie, I was on stage, like all of these things. I explored this personal self-expression path, and I love it. Yeah. And I believe that actually most women, or most people, this is just my theory. I have no data or science backing this up, but I'm sure that there is something like that. I believe most women are too much, but we are afraid of being too much because we think, because many people can't hold too much. What I also hear a lot also from people, like really high ranking people, like people who are like friends or colleagues with, what's his name, Brian Tracy. Like I know people in the personal development space, like here in Germany, but also being internationally connected. Um, Even they say like I always, like I make very interesting connections. Yeah, because I have a full spectrum view, and I see things in different cultures, because I had the privilege of exploring the Black world and exploring the white world. Yeah, being half German, being half Ghanaian, I feel so privileged of having access to both cultures, and always kind of being othered but also being included. Like that's a unique mixed experience, I think, being othered but also being included, and having access to so many different cultures and people and socioeconomic statuses, like being like from, I also spoke about that, like also the men that I've dated being like millionaires and celebrities and athletes, and just men who, I don't know what they do, like being high rank in the world. Like I don't really care about that anymore, because I don't know too much about the man's world, and I don't really care. So we are decentering men over here and putting women on the pedestal. So I just want to share, like I have had insight into so many different lives. Also being friends with this old Rastafarian guy, being friends. I remember me always being friends like with this old white lady who used to live in my brother's house. Like she was a market woman, like literal market woman. She had like different fish. She sold fish. This white woman in Germany who was a businesswoman like all her life. I used to go and visit her, sit with her on the table, listen to her, being friends with this old Rastafarian guy from Jamaica living in Germany, and always pulling up something, knowing like so many people inside the reggae industry. I know people. I know very interesting people. And also everything, like being part of this Miss Germany squad. I was Miss Germany, or not Miss Germany, but I was in a top 20 Miss Germany 2023. So being in that world and just having all kinds of accesses to people from all cultures and all, as I said, socioeconomic statuses. Of course, I'm too much because I have all these informations and I have all these insights into different lives. And I believe, I don't know, but I believe that many women have this. I don't think that I am so special, but I think that many times, and this is what I also don't like about boxing myself into a category, also here on social media, it's about the full range of the feminine life experience with everything that comes with it. And that is abundance, that is riches, that is life. Yeah, and not boxing myself in. But I believe that many women actually have this experience because we don't give ourselves permission, even in the feminine empowerment spaces, where women either talk about dating men, which is okay, we can talk about that too. No, I'm not going to talk about it, but it's okay to talk about that. And then niching yourself down into now being whatever, a divester, dating white men. Yeah, cool. Like it's not about that. I dated white men, and that's okay. Okay. So, but who are you? I mean, that's me. That's me, and everything is valid. I don't want to put that down. No. Everyone has her place, but for me it's boring because who are you? Like, okay, but people of course also want advice. But I think it is the root, or the answer to it all, like literally the answer to it all is to love your life, is to love yourself and love your aliveness, love your body, love who you are, going out into the world, being curious. That's me, that has been me, like being curious and getting to know all kinds of people, peeking into all kinds of industries, looking what's going on here, what's going on there. Like this is actually, that's what I believe, that this is what a woman wants, is to follow her curiosity. So this is a big point here, right? Following your curiosity. This has been historically or societally been kind of suppressed in women, to follow her curiosity. I know that even Sigmund Freud, the psychologist, like the mentor of Carl Jung, who then went on to also have his own approach, he said that, and it was yeah, I think some maybe in some intellectual spaces this is still kind of valid, that a woman's curiosity is being suppressed. A woman is not supposed to know so much. I mean, let's look at some countries in the Islamic world, or in Africa as well, where women are not allowed to go to school, where women are not allowed to go to school because subconsciously men know that women are more powerful than men. That's what I know. So keeping a woman's mind, her inquisitiveness, her being curious, wanting to know things, snooping around, but also going for the education, learning about things, but especially for me, learning about yourself, knowing yourself, learning about like feminine worship, like not being like male centered, male centered Abrahamic religions, but really looking into history and looking into myth, that the goddess has played a big part for a long time, more of a matriarchal society, and women having power, just knowing thyself, knowing who you are as a woman, which is also part or the result of education, right? Of self exploration, but also of education. A woman snooping around, wanting to find out what's actually going on here. As I said, that I believe that cognitive dissonance means that you like something that like something internally, but your outside doesn't match it. And you're like constantly like, huh? Like what's actually like what's going on? And I definitely had that. I am big into the gene keys. I don't know if you know the gene keys. The gene keys is a system of self-knowledge, right? Where you have your personal profile, where you see what are your shadows, what are your challenges in life, and what is your path, and what is like the highest expression of you. So my pathway of evolution actually is psychosis. Yeah, like my evolution point is psychosis. For most of my life, I've been in cognitive dissonance. I think this is also something that comes with being mixed. Yeah, like being a black and white, literally. We live in a world of duality, and I am the embodiment of oneness. Like I am the embodiment of oneness as a mixed person, because I have a white mother and a black father, and this world is constantly trying to give you messages about what it means to be black and what it means to be white. And the white is better and that black is lesser. That male is better and that feminine is lesser. Something like that. Okay. So it was a psychosis for me. Like finding out about the nature of reality has been my life's path. Yeah, finding out about myself, about my culture, about this black and white thing, but especially about like esoteric knowledge of self, inner work, finding out about indoctrination, programming your subconscious mind, this matrix. What is this world that we're living in? It's kind of weird, finding out all of these things. This is what I want to talk about. And this is what I want to give to you if you are being magnetized by me, and letting you know that I believe that most women are feeling like they're too much if you follow your inquisitiveness, because we are able as women, and that's also scientifically proven, that women are like, we have our senses all out. Like we're like these sensory beings, and we pick up on the energy, the outside energy. And not only like, what is energy? It's also thoughts, right? It's thoughts, it's paradigms. And like, for example, like I live in a certain neighborhood, and I pick up like my energy field. I pick up on the energy and the thoughts and the vibrations of my neighborhood. And that's true for all of us. And this is also what makes us like, we're tapped in on a kind of like on a subconscious intuitive level into so much information and so much knowledge, that if we allow ourselves to speak, and this is what I feel like, this is the power of using your voice. Once you start speaking, you will hear and you will find out how much you actually know, how much you know of, and being like, okay, am I just thinking that, or what's going on, And I feel like so many women, they feel things, they know things intuitively, but they don't give themselves expression, they don't give themselves the permission to speak. So I believe that our biggest fear as women is not being too little. No, I think we are afraid of our own power. I believe that we are afraid of our own vastness. I believe that we are afraid of our own too muchness. Yeah. The feminine is the water. So imagine that you're the sea, right? You're the sea, and you can, if you allow yourself to break free, you can create different streams of expression first. Ex- Create different streams of expression. So maybe one avenue is speaking, one avenue is dancing, one avenue, whatever you like, is gardening. One avenue is um one avenue is sewing. One avenue is cooking, right? You're creating all these different streams of expressions. And this is where you find who you are, like how much you are, how talented you are, how rich you are, And I believe that the fear is like the lid that keeps it all locked in, right? So the fear is what is closing off the flow and the expression of the energy. So being too wild, and me personally, I'm still kind of, it's not really struggling with it. Like now I'm giving myself full permission to be as wild and messy as I am. But even being here on YouTube, like you see, like women are creating, as I said, these lines of expression. Like, for example, this is like we're talking about dating or something like that. So I don't want to talk about dating. I want to talk about me. And I want to talk about my life experience and me believing that it is also giving permission to you to open yourself up and to just blah, break free. Like a dam, like the dam is opening. And this is also in Beyonce's video, this hold up video where she like um with this baseball bat, like she punches open this fire hydrant, like the water is just coming out. And this is, I believe, that's us. Like if we take off the lid, yeah, you take off the lid of fear, doubt, shame, guilt, then you will find out that there has been so much stored, so much suppressed energy that wanted to flow all your life, because you have so much to share. I believe that you have so much to share, so much to give, so much to express, and not like you think you are not enough. No, you're definitely more than enough. And I literally mean it with that. You're more than enough. Just being a human and having lived life, you do have talents. You do have a perspective. You do have something to say. You do have some kind of talent. Yeah, as I just said, whether it be this avenue, this. And I just want to count what I wrote down here. Like being afraid of being too wild, too messy, because the feminine is also chaos. It can be chaos, like it's like rah, too much. It's wild because it doesn't have structure, like the feminine in its purest essence. If we just want to talk about if we want to separate it, right? Because we're both too wild, too messy, too chaotic, but also being afraid of being too smart. I have definitely felt that, especially with dating. That's why I'm decentering men. Like I feel like I haven't had not much, but not having like too many guys who could meet me on an intellectual level, and also on a exciting level of me jumping around, like jumping around from topic to topic and creating connections. Connection. This and this and this is connected. This topic is connected. This is connected, but I haven't had anybody matching my energy. So being afraid of being too smart, being afraid of being too bubbly, right? Being afraid of being too direct, unfiltered. I'm very unfiltered because I don't understand. Like for me, it's energy, using energy to be filtered. I'm learning it because sometimes it's okay to contain myself, definitely, but being too direct, right? And being too fast, understanding it, boom. Okay, I know, like already know. Bam. I have, I have, I have like caught the main idea. So I kind of know what it's about. Boom, fast. Okay. Being too free, being too sexy, right? Being too sexy. I want to talk about that because for me, and now being on my decentric men journey, is I feel like my child self again because I've always been that girl. You know, I've always been that girl. I've always been sexy, if we want to call it that, since I'm young. Like I've always seen myself, as I said, as this performing artist. When I was still a young girl, I wanted to be the belly dancer in the circus. And then people also saw me as that. Of course, probably it was like a ping pong thing that people like kind of maybe fetishized me or having this exotical experience. But I also wanted to step into it. You know, also this, I can make another video about that, talking about positive stereotypes. Yeah, I probably fulfill a lot of stereotypes coming with my phenotype. Yes, I am expressive. The people even said I was too confident at Miss Germany. I mean, hello. I am a brown woman and coming to this contest of representing confident women who take responsibility in society, and you're telling me I'm too confident? Okay, so that means I must have some kind of energy, you know? So yes, I am confident because I love myself. And this is also something. Being too confident is so like people don't like that. Even here, maybe in this space, and not being relatable. I don't know. I want to question it. I want to question if I have to put myself down. I don't think I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. No, I'm not perfect. I don't have the perfect body. I don't have the perfect skin. I don't have the perfect hair. And I don't care. I don't care. I still love myself. Right? I still love myself. I'm not comparing myself to nobody. Yes, maybe sometimes, you know, but literally, I am at this point in my life where I'm just so happy with myself. And I feel that you should be too, because I'm not comparing myself and I'm happy with myself. I'm very blessed to be incarnated into this body and to have this life experience. I love it, you know? So being too confident, being too unbothered, being too playful, being too wild, you know, being too imperfect. I'm not even trying to be perfect or whatever that means. Like there is no perfection. You know, I just enjoy expressing myself. And I believe that, like, imagine me talking like that, and I do. Imagine you seeing me in a cafe talking like that. That's a whole entertainment. And I believe that you and many women are more like that. I don't see too many. I want to get into it more. Or actually, maybe even not. I don't know. But even like in the feminine space, you know, my brand is called Healing into Femininity. And for me, femininity is this, what I'm talking about, is the wild, is the fluidity, is the whole spectrum. When I speak about whole spectrum, I literally mean like the spectrum of light, the spectrum of emotions, right? Coming from the red to the orange to the yellow to the green to the blue to the violet, you know, like the spectrum of the chakra system, the spectrum of emotions coming from shame, which is the lowest emotion, to bliss or whatever the highest emotion or the highest state of consciousness is. I can feel shame now, and I can feel bliss in the other second. Like, right, that's a full range. Boom, boom, boom. It's playing the instrument of life. It's being unlocked, fully human, all of it, you know, and also not identifying with this because I am the full body expression, and at the same time I am also the observer self, you know. So I'm not gonna get stuck in either emotion, but I'm gonna let it play like a what is this instrument called, like philharmonica or something like that, you know, like the whole spectrum. So I believe that, and this is me coming out, I love myself and I'm not perfect, but I decided to radically love myself. And I think many women, we are afraid of being too much, because people can't hold it. But maybe people can. I'm about to find that out, if you can hold me, but I think that's a fear, that we're so much, and most people are just thinking in boxes, and we too, like, I also spoke about this in another video, that we also have the group mind. We have the compartmentalization mind, the boxing in things into categories mind. We've adopted it from the world. So this is the number one thing that keeps us hostage, that keeps us in boxes, right? Our own internalized way of thinking, that we might not even understand all of who we are, because we have adopted this thinking of, okay, if you're this, you can't be this. If you're this, you can't be this. But I am all of it. Playing the philharmonica, jigga jigga jig. I think it's not the right word. It's not the right word for the instrument, but you feel me. So that's it. You're full range. You're all. You're all. And sometimes you're going to feel like you're not enough. But if you start, and this is also the magic of creativity, right? If you start, just like me, and I'm saying all these things because I believe that there's power and that there's value in it. Me just being like, okay, I want to talk about this one topic, and I'm going to sit here, and then it comes. It comes. And I want you to trust in that too. If you start, it's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come, because you're unplugging the energy, unstucking the energy, and it's going to come. It's going to flow out, flow, bubble, 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 bubble. Okay? And the same thing with life. If you start doing the things, if you start expressing, if you start dancing, the movement is going to come. If you start drawing, the rest of the drawing is going to come. If you start writing, the rest of the writing is going to come. It's literally, what is it? Like, tapping into the muse, tapping into the source of creativity, tapping into the source. Yeah, and literally seeing the source as like this vast resource of whatever it is that you want to draw from. If you give yourself permission, you're everything. And it's true. You're literally everything. Everything that you are able to comprehend, or even beyond that. So how do you like that? Look, I'm going all out. I'm going all out. How do you like that? I love it. I love it. I think that's what I'm going to be talking about, or that's how I'm not always going to be like that, but this is just, I'm the embodiment of what I want you to be free, to be free, to enjoy yourself, to enjoy the way you talk, to enjoy the way you move, to be your own entertainment, right? So you don't need to look at other people, because it's more fun to be it. And I learned something from one of my girlies here on YouTube as well, is that most people are living through someone else. Like, also, it's a very old thing. It's called living vicariously. I learned that word. To live vicariously through someone else. And living vicariously through someone else is watching somebody else. And that's okay. If you have to watch me first to be animated enough to also be like that, be more free, then that's fine. Do it. But I want to invite you to then give it back to us. Show us who you are. Be so happy that you want to share yourself, you know? And this is what they mean by saying, like, if you don't share yourself, you're not playing your part in this whole game of life. You're just being like, you kind of come and you leave, but giving of yourself, sharing your art, sharing your thoughts, your energy. Oh, this is your purpose. That's what I believe. Being creative and being happy with your own creation. So I think I'm going to stop here. Um, or maybe not. Let me finish this because I wrote something down here. And I am a big fan. Like, it took me some time, don't get it twisted. It took me some time to get here because I am so vast and I have been so vast since I can remember, as I said, starting with my childhood, having the black and white experience, having like tapping into all of the other experiences that I had the privilege of tapping into, all of the culture, all of the sense, all of the music, all of the food. Like, I had friends from all over the world traveling. Like, I had the privilege of traveling early. I had the privilege of being surrounded by these people and that people and all of that. So how can I possibly contain myself? How? And then when I got into the world of personal development and being a coach, of course, you first look at your teachers, or you look at your the people who you learn from, but they are not like me. Nobody's like me. So you try to be like, okay, you try to play it safe. I try to play it safe too. um but now I'm safe enough to show all of me, and still knowing that I am a professional. I'm very competent at what I do. I'm high level. I'm a highly educated woman. I'm a highly educated woman. I am very competent in what I do. I believe that I embody everything that I teach, so I'm in full integrity, and all of those things while being playful, while having fun, while being a child. I am 35, if you believe me or not. I look like 20, and this is the result. This is the result. And I know all of it, and this is also something that people don't like if you know who you are. But I designed myself. I created myself. So, but what I want to say is that we are afraid to show up as our full self, to shine our light despite the darkness. Yeah. But what are we afraid of? We're afraid of being rejected. But we can only be rejected if we reject ourselves. That's the secret. So if you fully embrace yourself, if you fully embrace yourself, if you radically love yourself, it doesn't mean that you're perfect. I'm not perfect, okay? Um, But if you fully embrace yourself, if you fully allow yourself to be all of you, your humanity, your dark side, but also your love and your light side, and let the love wrap around all of you, also your darkness, this is fully accepting yourself. If you fully accept yourself, and also your shadow, and also your imperfections, and also your blind spots, if you accept yourself, if you embrace yourself, then nobody can reject you because you don't care. Because I don't need you. You know, I don't need you to love me because I have enough love for myself. And this is the biggest freedom. This is the freedom of life. Okay, freedom, freedom. This is it. The fear of rejection is valid. Everything is valid. I don't want to downplay it. It's valid, and I had to go through it myself. But that's the goal. Like, this is where you come out when you practice personal development, when you practice inner work, when you practice getting to know your wounds and healing them. It's coming out on the other side of fully embracing yourself, loving yourself, giving yourself permission to enjoy your life right now while you're working towards a bigger manifestation. Mhm. Okay. So, yeah, accept yourself, and the people who are for you will accept you too. But the biggest goal is to accept all of who you are, and then you can't be rejected anymore. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's it. So this is literally it. I shared a little bit. We were just vibing. I hope you had your drink, or you did whatever you had to do while listening to this episode. And I would love to hear from you. I would love you to brag. I want this channel to be a brag channel. I want you to be free to brag. This is a safe space to shine. This is what I want. This is a safe space to shine. I want you to share all of your accomplishments. I want you to share all of your talents. I want you to share everything you love. I want you to share your beauty. I want you to share your certifications. I want you to share whatever you're proud of, whether you're a mom or you are a whatever, a housewife or a businesswoman or making money or whatever you are, and you are proud of what you have accomplished. I want this place to be a place where you brag, where you learn to brag about yourself, where you say, like, I love everything about me. I love my feet, my legs, my ass, my hips, my womb, my intestines, my nervous system, my breast, my body, my hips, my shoulders, my arms, my fingers, my face, my nose, my lips, my hair. I love everything about me. And if you don't, that's also fine. But count all the things that you do love. Mhm. You're not too much. I believe that this is the biggest fear that we have as women, is to be full on. So I'm looking forward to hear from you. And until then, take care.